So today we look at hole 8. Hole 8 is a putting surface that we don't see. Two tricky bunkers in front on the fairway that deceive us. They try to get us to take less club, thinking the green's closer to us, but in fact we actually know that it's 190 yards from the back to the back of the green. It's a long way, and from whichever tee you play from, it's that yardage that I want you to start thinking about more. How far is it to the back, and which club do you need to actually get there? Let's have a look at today's clip of hole 8, see what you can learn from that. Well, hole 8, another fantastic par 3, plays uphill, and there's a couple of very deceptive bunkers in the middle of the hole which make you think that the hole is a lot shorter than it really is. So look at the yardage, 172, club up, plays uphill, often plays against the wind as well. And make sure you take enough club, especially if you see that white pin on the top, which means it's at the back. You'll need a lot more club than you think. Line wise, always favour the right hand side, but don't go too far right because there is a very deep bunker awaiting anything straight off to the right. Well, the deceptive fairway bunkers here on 8 really do make that shot look much shorter than it really is. And from this one we got a good 30 to 40 yards to the putting surface, and from the back of this one, which is the left hand one, as you can see as we're walking up now, we're a good 25 yards to the putting surface. Green's guarded by these 3 bunkers, 1 on the right, 2 on the left. The green offers a multitude of very interesting pin positions, slopes from back to front, and on the front section down here it can be like lightning. So if you have a downhill putt, you need to be really careful. Well, that was a really interesting clip there from hole 8, and as you can see, those 2 bunkers in the middle of the fairway, which we just think are random bunkers, are actually there to catch your eye, to make you think that the hole's not as long as it is. That's how clever Colt was when he designed these golf courses, and you can see this around Tandridge on many holes, that the positioning of the bunkers, certainly towards the greens, just short of the greens, lots of them are there just as a form of deception. So hole 8, what can we learn about that today? Well, we learn that lots of us leave it short because of that reason. We don't take into the fact that it's a long hole, it plays uphill, and to the back of the green, as I say, is 190 yards, so it's a long way, and that's relative to each tee that you play on. So remember, use your laser when you get to hole 8 and check out the positions of the pin positions and see where to go. So we know that we need a lower shot, and if it lands lower and it'll chase up onto the green, that will really help. The lower handicap players from the back, they're going to hit nice high shots into lots of different pin positions. But what I'm going to say to you now is this: if the pin is on the right, the shot you need to be playing is a fade, starting on the left side of the green and fading, almost slicing as much as you can into that right hand pin position, especially when it's short right. Very difficult pin to get to, so we want a fade shot coming into that hole. I dare you to start playing that shot because it will really make you more successful. Anything turning right to left in that position will just kick down that bank, and we actually want the opposite to be happening. We want it to land and shoot to the right, not to the left. So the more fade the better, and that means you're going to have to club up to make sure that it actually reaches its destination. The flag is on the left hand side of the green, that's when we're going to be looking to hit that nice high draw and get that ball chasing to that back left pin position, which can be really tricky if we leave it on the right hand side. So make sure that you try to play a shot, play a shape, and that'll help you with whichever pin position that you're actually trying to get to. For those of you playing off the yellow tees and the red tees, yes, it's a shorter hole, but you still need to be really accurate. The entrance to the green is quite narrow, but again, check the yardage, check how far it is to the back of the green, find out where the pin is, and try to play the best shot you possibly can. Now, I know on this hole, lots and lots of people hit the bunkers front left and front right with that bunker that works down the side. And if you go in that right hand side bunker, the shot can be almost impossible to get the ball close to the hole. So my shot that I'm going to demonstrate today is not one of the tee shots, because we've done high, we've done low, we've done draws, and we've done fades. So what we're going to look at today is a lob shot out of the bunker. How do we get that bunker shot up in the air really, really quickly so that we can stop it by that right-hand side flag? A shot that we normally have absolutely no chance with. Let's see if we can actually get you closer to the flag. I've now changed my club from my coaching 7-iron to the club I'm going to need for this job, which is my most lofted club. In this situation, it's not actually ideal because I don't actually have my 60-degree club here at home with me, and that's the one that has the lowest bounce angle. So I really would try to use that club for this shot from that right-hand bunker at 8. So we're going to use this 58-degree club. It has 12 degrees of bounce, which for me is a little bit too much for it to try to get up in the air really quickly. I'd like to have something with less bounce, and the reason why is that when I open the face, I also increase the bounce. So as you can see, if I close the face by getting the club handle more forwards, but if I now open the face, you can see how the leading edge is sitting up on my hand. So that's why I need to choose a club with the lowest bounce possible. Now, in the last few weeks, we've been talking about bounce angles, how to play the shots, what's good, what's not good. And this is a really, really important element of your game that you'll understand from these videos, that you need to check your wedges and whether or not you've got something with low bounce and something with high bounce, because it will help. So I wouldn't use my high bounce sand wedge in a bunker like this. I'm actually going to use my 60-degree club with very, very low bounce, so that when I open it, the bounce still is reduced enough for me not to thin the ball. That's really, really important. So all important club selection. Now let's have a look at the setup and what we're going to do. So as I mentioned, for home purposes and to purposes of today's video, I'm going to use my most lofted club, which is my 58-degree sand wedge. So when I put that behind the ball, because of the shot that I've decided to play, and I want you to all think about that shot from the right-hand bunker to that right-hand pin position anywhere on the 8th green. The ball needs to go up and straight down. Imagine now if a golf ball is hit, contacted with a club face that looks like this, it'll go forwards. If it's contacted with a club face that looks like this, it doesn't matter how hard you hit it, it will only go up. And that is the key to this shot. Yes, we've got to have great contact at the bottom of the ball, but the more the loft is looking up in the air, that's exactly where we'll send the ball. So we mustn't be afraid of actually getting that ball and contacting that sand as hard as we possibly can to get the ball to go up even faster. Really important. Let's have a look at the setup. I'll get the ball and I'm opening my stance as much as I can, and the reason why is because I'd like to open the face of the club as much as I can as well, and that's really, really important. Now once I've opened the face, as you can see, it's now I take my grip. One of the biggest mistakes we see is for people who take their grip and then open the face. But grip laws tell us that the V's will come back to the position which is in their natural hanging position when the V's are pointing between my chin and right shoulder for a right-handed player, and that means that they'll come back to that position. So the club face will actually come back to square, not in that open position as we want it to be. So remember, we always position the club face first, then take our grip on the handle, and as you can see, the writing isn't on the top, it's actually well to the side because I've opened the face, and that's going to really look and feel a bit odd for you in that position. So as you can see, I've now taken my grip and the leading edge of the club face is now looking at that pin, and I know it's just over that bank. Imagine the shot, really tough, and I'm going to get the ball as far forward in my stance as I possibly can. Here's my hover position, and I'm going to hinge my wrists as early as I can and really try to get that club up steeply, and then from there I'm going to come through the sand, but this time I'm going to make sure that I keep that club face looking at the sky for as long as I possibly can, because remember, if it looks to the ground, it's closing. If it looks to the sky, it's remaining open in that position. So that's really important to get through the entire hitting area with the club face looking up to the sky, because remember, that's where it started. Here we go, open the face. Let's play the shot, then we'll slow it down and have a look at it. So now the club face is in position, I'm nice and open. Look how far forward the ball is. Eyes on the back of the ball, and this is so important. You mustn't move your eyes. You've got to really look at the position where you want the club to actually contact the sand, which is close to the ball, half an inch behind. Off we go. Hovering up, remember that now. Oh, look at that. Now that was a really, really long swing. It had so much speed about it, but the ball has actually gone 10 yards in front of me, if that, probably closer to 6 or 7, the way I came through it. And we'll do another one now. We'll get that slowed down, but we'll have a look at it from behind so we can actually see what happens to the actual result as well. Okay. There's the ball that I hit before, just out on the garden. As I say, it didn't go very far. We're going to do the same thing with this one now. Get myself back into exactly the same position and try and play that very, very high shot. Lands softly, doesn't roll all the way down the hill. It gives you a chance for a par. Let's have a look. Nice and open. Opened the club face. Now I've taken my grip. Well, that one's gone a bit further, and I really felt that I didn't actually keep the club as open through that hitting area as I really needed to. So let's have a look at another one, but I'll slow it down, and then we'll see whether I can keep the club face open in that position. So instead of it just catching it a little bit too strong and going a bit further, it'll actually catch it absolutely perfectly and go straight up. Let's have a look at that now. Well, it just shows you, I hit that last shot, although it was slowed down. I hit it with absolute full speed in my swing, but it went straight up in the air and just 4 or 5 yards. So it just shows you how much speed you can use. If the club face position is in the right place for the shot that you're trying to play, and in this position, obviously remember what we're trying to do is create much more loft, the most loft we can, or even more than the club would suggest. The ball will go up in the air and you can control it landing because it's going up, then down. I think that's the most important instruction that you're going to get for hole 8, and I hope you can practice that shot somewhere on a mat like this in the garden with your airfo balls, really practicing making that full paced swing with the club face in the right position, hitting those shots that go straight up and then straight down. There'll be more of this on Friday with the lob shots. Hope you've enjoyed today. Safe everyone. See you soon.